They'll be back, though.
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
All right, man. All right. Welcome to Big B Dailies. This is Brian Hanley. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are live on TikTok, live on YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Again, Big B Dailies, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time. Join the chat in TikTok. Join the chat over on YouTube. It's Big B Sports Talk over on YouTube. Come subscribe. The chat was always going on both. Let's get into this, man. Let's get into this big weekend of college football last weekend. I mean, let's just start it out. Coach Prime, man. Coach Prime. I mean, now look, it's easy for me to sit here and say we all knew that they were going to win. That's not true. That's not true. Myself, and I don't think anybody was picking Colorado to win the football game. I mean, let's just all be honest. But I think anybody with half a brain thought, well, there's no way TCU's beating them by 21 points. The Big B Dailies, which we'll get into that here in a minute, but we loved that plus 20 and a half. I mean, that was easy money. It was a laydown. Turns out Colorado said they're winning outright. They're winning outright. TCU was not the same team as last year. Everybody tried to say that, well, they came in second. They were playing the national championship game. You know how many guys were gone from that roster? I mean, but that's not to take anything away from Colorado either, because here's the flip side to that, because everybody's saying it's just one game. TCU sucks. Well, maybe TCU doesn't, and maybe Colorado's that good. Did we ever think of that? Now, look, Colorado's defense, not very good. Not very good. TCU could have won that football game if they just decided to run the football and keep the ball away from Colorado's offense. They'd have won. So, but they chose not to do that and chose to put it in the air. But Colorado had no resistance to that either. But give Colorado credit, man. Give them credit. They won. They won the football game. They're going to be in a lot of shootouts because, again, their defense is not good. And not good. And if they don't come out and beat Nebraska this week, none of that means anything. And the one thing that I'm pretty sure I know, Nebraska's defense is going to be better than what TCU's is. Now, Nebraska's offense is not any good. It's not good. Their quarterback is mistake prone, so that may help Colorado. But as far as Nebraska's defense, it's going to be better than what TCU's defense is. But Colorado's got to win the next game. And maybe they will. I'm rooting for him. You know me. I'm rooting for Prime. All the talk, all the bravado. He's just confident. I like it. I like it. They prove people wrong. I mean, like I said, Tom Luganbill should be fired from ESPN immediately. Immediately, he should be fired. And usually, I'm not a guy that calls for anybody to be fired. But here's the thing. If your job is to scout, know who's good on what team, that's literally your job. And then you come out and say that that is the worst roster in college football. They don't know how they're going to keep their quarterback upright. That's what he came out and said. And then for Colorado, not only that, their offensive line played well. All those snaps, they gave up 2 sacks. The offensive line played well. And for you to say that they don't know how they're going to keep the quarterback upright and the guy throws for 510 yards? I mean, somebody at ESPN has to say, we need a new guy because this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Not only did he soil his own reputation of being an idiot, he's also embarrassing us. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But congrats to Coach Prime. Congrats to Colorado. Exactly. Tom Luganbill is a fraud. Matter of fact, somebody asked me before we started the Big B Daily Show, fraud. I need to bring back fraud of the week. And I said, man, we do frauds every day in here. Tom Luganbill is the fraud of the week. Fraud, fraud, fraud. Unbelievable. And again, somebody at ESPN got to be saying to themselves, why do we have this guy here? Why do we have this guy? So, moving on. LSU, boy. Whew, you talk about fraud. Now, look, LSU lost this game last year, although they didn't get their head beaten in. But LSU lost they just got blown out. Okay, the second half, they got embarrassed. Okay, let's just talk that. They got embarrassed. They got smacked around. Florida State is really good. Now, two things can be true. Two things can be true. One, Florida State is better than what we all thought. They're really, really good. That's what, I mean, it's just clearly. Florida State's really good. Number two, LSU can still be good. They're just not as good as Florida State. Or LSU could be a fraud. Like a lot of people over on TikTok are saying LSU are nothing but fraud. They quit. I don't know if LSU quit. They may have quit that last touchdown, but they didn't quit in the second half. They got beat up. They got physically whipped. Up front, they were getting their head whipped. They had problems blocking FSU all night long. And people think, the game was tied at the half, but football games aren't a half. It's 4 quarters. The third and fourth quarter, the entire third and fourth quarter count. And they got smacked around. So it's just that I mean, LSU, man, we'll see. I'm not going to put LSU on fraud alert yet. I'm not going to do it yet. But we see another performance like this, you're going on there. And I mean, to have them 5th in the country, I'm just trying to figure out, what did they do to say LSU, other than they're an SEC team and they got to make it look good? But okay, now what is Florida State? If LSU was 5 and what is Florida State? They destroyed them. So, but 5th in the country, I mean, why? What did they do last year that said they're 5th? They lost 4 football games. 4 of them. And the games they lost, other than Florida State, the last 3, they got whipped. I don't know. So, it didn't look good. It didn't look good. But the bottom line is, with LSU, we're going to wait to put them on fraud alert. But here's what I know. Florida State is a good football team. Florida State is a good football team. I love that they play Clemson early in the season, because I'm looking forward to that football game. If Clemson's as good as what people say, and we'll find out here in an hour or two, because they play Duke. Now, I'm not a believer in Duke. I know Duke's got a little bit of something, but Clemson should roll over Duke. We'll see. I'm looking forward to that Clemson-Florida State game now. I wasn't before, because I wasn't a believer in Florida State coaching, but they got some dogs over there at Florida State, man. They're good. They're good. And I know some people are saying that Duke's going to cover tonight. I like that bet. I like it. I think Clemson's going to run the ball more than people will expect. So the score may not get out of hand, but I think Clemson will control that football game. I don't think TCU is the biggest fraud either. I don't think the TCU is the biggest fraud. But we'll find out. We'll find out, man. There were some bad bets. Moving on. Some bad bets. Look, we were 50% this week. 50%, which is not where you want to be. Got to be at 56% or higher. 50%. And we would have been there. Freaking Georgia Tech scores a BS touchdown with a minute to go. Louisville had the game covered, and all of a sudden they score a BS touchdown at the end and we lose. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Now, we met that game. Look, the football guys were just not with us, which is going to happen. But this early in the season, come on, man. Come on, football guys. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And then We were just wrong about North Carolina and South Carolina. We were just wrong. We were wrong. I gave South Carolina way more credit than what they deserved, but it turns out South Carolina's just got a collection of stiffs. They're again they're going to be a 7-5, 8-14, more likely 7-5. They're a collection of stiffs. They may win a couple games they shouldn't because teams will underestimate them as always. But that is a typical South Carolina team because North Carolina's not even that good. They're not that good. Two best receivers weren't playing, and they still smacked them around. Just smacked them around. I mean, that's my bad. That's my bad. And then who knew about LSU just getting trucked? Florida State's really good, though. But that's okay. We cleaned up with Washington. We doubled up with Washington. And, of course, the Colorado was the laydown of the week, so that was easy. Easy money there, man. Easy money there. Easy money. So the last thing, let's move on. Let's open this up like we always do, man. Let's talk about some of the games. We'll get into a little bit of NFL. NFL starting up this week. Whatever your questions are, if you're over on YouTube, man, come on over. Ask some questions in the chat. I'll put your questions up on the chat. I got you over here on TikTok again. Big B Daily. We are live Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time, man. So if you're on TikTok, give me a follow. But everybody on TikTok, come on over to YouTube, man. Come subscribe to Big B Sports Talk. Come subscribe to the channel, man. So I would appreciate it. Been doing it 2 weeks. It's growing and growing and growing. I thank all of you guys, man. So let's get it going. All right. We'll start on TikTok today. Yes, I am a K-State fan, Ian. I went to play at K-State in 1997 and 98. So I'm old, but I am a K-State fan, man. I love K-State. Lions cover on Thursday. Yeah, I think they do. I don't think they win, but I think they cover. I think the Lions cover. So, all right. Let's see here. So we're over on the chat. Let's bust open something here on YouTube. Super Golden Chris. 510 yards, a bit inflated. No defense, no run game. See, it's comments like this, people. I try to be as nice as possible. So no run game, but you threw for 510 yards, which means that, number one, the O-line was doing their job because they were blocking. But do you need a run game to win? The last time I checked, if you win the game, who cares if you have a run game? And who cares if you have no defense? That's not your fault. Maybe your offense is just that good that no matter what the defense did, they couldn't stop you. I mean, if you watched the football game, didn't it look like that? I mean, didn't it look like Colorado could do no wrong on offense. It didn't matter what TCU did. I mean, people, again, they're trying to discredit Deion already. Super Golden Chris trying to discredit Deion already. It's pathetic. What else we got? Wakan, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining the chat. LSU defense looked winded way too early. Did they? I said that. I said that LSU looked tired. At halftime, they looked gassed. I'm glad you said that, my man, because I'm not the only person who believes that. They look dead tired. Dead tired. And LSU just said, too bad, so sad, and just pummeled them in the second half. Pummeled them. Yeah, man, it looked like LSU was tired. I'm glad you said that. Now, let me just throw something out here. I know this is not a question, but I just want to talk about this for a second, man. Oklahoma should be ashamed of themselves, okay? Oklahoma beat Arkansas State 73-0, okay? 73-0. Now, I'm a proponent of, hey, man, we're going to play our guys. We're going to call our game. The backups want to score too. It's your job to stop it. It's your job to stop it. But they had a grown man crying on the sideline. A grown man was crying on the sideline. I just can't get past that. I can't get past it. I don't think I've ever seen that. Every now and then a player gets hurt and it'll bring a coach to tears, or something like that. It's usually somebody getting hurt. It brings a coach to tears. Not when you're getting your head beat in. Do you just cry on the sideline? Butch Jones needs to retire. He should just retire. You can't first of all, you shouldn't be getting whipped 73-0. I don't care what. But second of all, you can't be crying on the sideline, brother. What is going on? Whew. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the Oregon. What the mascot for Oregon did what, like 547 push-ups or something like that? I mean, his biceps blew out. We got to get some more competitive games. Do I think that Colorado will beat Nebraska this weekend? Yeah, I do. I think Nebraska's defense is better than TCU's defense, but I absolutely think that they win. Absolutely think. Here is a question. Ted Groff, what's going on, man? Question about Kansas State. How did you think Avery Johnson looked? I thought he looked great. Now, the competition was bad, don't get me wrong, but for your first collegiate game, he looked great. I think he needs to get a series a game. I do. I think they need to put him out there in real game time for at least one series, because if he's going to be the guy next year, then I think he's got to get some game time under his belt. I just think that, and against Troy, you can do that. If K-State's who we think they are, they should be able to do that against Troy. Here's a good question. Daydruns. Now, again, thank you. He came over from TikTok, man. I thank you for coming and subscribing, man. I appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it. But this is a smart guy. Look, his question came from TikTok. We can all agree. Steelers got the best defense this season. I've been saying it. Why won't anybody listen to me? The Steelers defense is going to be phenomenal. Why won't people listen? I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, well. Oh, wait a minute. TikTok, hold your horses. YouTube, hold your horses. We got a hot take. We got the first hot take on Big B Dailies. First hot take. We haven't even had one yet, but now we got one. Here's the hot take. Cousins has the same skill set as Herbert in the playoffs. See what I'm talking about? Do you see? Kirk Cousins has the same skill set as Herbert. I don't care if it's in the playoffs. I don't care if it's in the second grade. I don't care when it was. Kirk Cousins does not have the same skill set as Herbert. Stop saying that stuff out loud. They will lock you up in a padded room and throw away the key. Stop it. Unbelievable. See what I'm talking about, people? See? Do you see? I try to be nice. I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm not making fun of people. But this kind of stuff, it brings it out of me. I'm like Michael Corleone. I try to get out and you just bring me back in. I don't want to do it. Well, you got to stop saying this stuff out loud, man. You have to. Somebody's going to come get you. Somebody is going to come get you. So let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. People are asking the same question. So we'll get rid of this Nikki person here in a minute. She's taking up too much space in the chat. We got to delete her. or him, whoever it is. Do-do, 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 do-do. Do-do. Yeah. We got to get rid of that person. Let's go over to TikTok. What do we got over here on TikTok, man? How about them Cowboys? Don't start with me. Here's the thing. I had 2 drafts, fantasy drafts this weekend. 2. Not 1. 2. And guess who the quarterback that I have on both of my drafts? Both of them. Both of them. Dakota Prescott. I don't even know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with myself. I try to do the right thing. I wait. I load up on receivers. I load up on backs. And people panic in the league. And the next thing you know, my choices were Dak, Daniel Jones, Mac Jones. I'm like, wait a minute. What is going on here? Both of them. I had to take Dak. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying. Oh, yeah. Cousins was down there, and I don't know. I don't know. It was bad. It was bad. So I took Dak, and I took Baby Hands Pickett. I said, Baby Hands, I think is going to be better than what people think. Nobody wanted Baby Hands Pickett. I got him in both drafts with the last pick. So here's a good question. Big B, over 12 interceptions for Dak this year? Nope. He'll be under that. Dak is not an interception thrower. He had a bad year last year, but go look at Dak. He doesn't throw a bunch of interceptions during the season. That's not what he does. He's never done that. He's never done that. That's literally not what he does. Now, the playoffs, that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. But during the regular season, Dax doesn't throw a whole bunch of interceptions. He doesn't do that. That was last year. So hopefully he reverts to form from previous years. And the jive-ass turkeys and the Kool-Aids, we got something going in fantasy football this year. That's the name of my teams. The Kool-Aids, that was my nickname in college. I was a big dude, always wore red shirts. They nicknamed me Kool-Aid. And the jive-ass turkeys. My dad used to call my mom a jive-ass turkey all the time, so there's what it is. It is what it is. Here's a question from YouTube. Wyoming versus Texas Tech. The finish. Man, I don't care how the finish ended. All I know is there's a whole bunch of people that thought Texas Tech was supposed to win and supposed to be great. And Texas Tech lost to Wyoming. I just don't want to hear it. That's why the Big 12 doesn't get the respect. You can't beat Texas Tech and go to Wyoming and lose. You should win that game by minimum 2 touchdowns. Instead, you go and lose. I don't want to hear it. Cannot get my respect that way. Now I got people over on YouTube arguing. Somebody doesn't think that the Steelers got the best defense in the country. They need to stop. Okay? The Steelers got the best defense in the NFL. Deal with it. You don't like it, deal with it. Oregon, yeah. Look, Oregon don't have no mascot no more. Or they'd had to get another one. Oregon's mascot tore a bicep, a tricep muscle. He had to do, I think it was 546 push-ups. He's done for the season. They got to get a new guy. Because you can't do that many push-ups in that short a time period. He wasn't built for that. They need a new mascot. That's ridiculous. 81 points in a Division I football game. They should be arrested. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, what else we got? Imagine Rodgers leaving Green Bay just to go to the Jets and have the same 8-9 record. Am I the only one who keeps believing that? Apparently I'm not. Thank you, Tyler James. over on YouTube. Thank you for saying that. The Jets are not it. I'm telling you. Their offensive line is pathetic. It's not bad. It's pathetic. They're not that no. They're not better than the Dolphins, and they're not better than the Bills. They're not. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They're not going to, the Jets ain't making the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs. I'm not, and I can be wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong. I'm not a believer. First of all, I don't know how good their coach is. That's first. I know a lot of people like Saleh. I'm not convinced. We'll see. Because the Jets should have been better last year. And I know they had a bad quarterback. I get it. We'll see. We'll see. And now look here, Seth. Yes, UNC was on fraud alert. Big B, what happened? I was wrong. I was wrong. I gave credit to South Carolina that I never should have. Y'all were trying to tell me no. I wouldn't listen to you. It was mostly people on TikTok that kept saying, Big B, don't do it. Big B, no. South Carolina's terrible. South Carolina's a fraud. And I said, no. It's North Carolina that's a fraud. I was wrong. I can admit it. I was wrong. I was wrong. And South Carolina's horrible. They're horrible. They're 7-5 max. They're horrible. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What we got on TikTok? Man, I don't feel anything about A&M. And let me see them play somebody, and then we can start talking about it. But until they do, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear. Ohio State didn't look good. Their quarterbacks looked terrible. So their quarterback didn't look good. But we'll see. And Indiana is not a good football team. Okay? So any Ohio State fans in here that's trying to tell me that Indiana's good, Indiana's quarterback play was horrendous. Why? Because Indiana has a horrendous football team. So I don't want to hear that. Ugh. Y'all are on me, boy. But you should be. Let's see. What else we got? What else we got? Yeah, Ohio State. That's a good question, Seth. No, Ohio State is not the same. Now, here's a good question or a good statement. You think Ohio State loses to Penn State this year? Well, the game is in Columbus. And my man, Donnie Maskey, he was in the chat the other day. Diehard Penn State fan. Diehard. He's mad at me because I said Penn State can't win the big game. He's mad at me. But as I always point out, am I lying? I mean, they don't. But if Ohio State's not going to be any better than this, Penn State got a shot. Penn State's got a shot. Now, Penn State will choke in the big game. So we'll see when it happens, when that game comes. But if Ohio State's quarterback play is going to be like this, Penn State's got a shot. They got a shot. So will Miami beat Texas A&M? I don't know. I'm off Miami. Everybody just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing for Miami to be good, just like Texas. People just keep pushing and pushing and pushing for them to be good. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Miami, we'll see. Miami might be 8-4. Might be 8-4. That's his max for Miami. That's the max. A lot of people are on the Lions, man. A lot of people over here on TikTok are on the Lions covering against the Chiefs. I'm not ready to pick it yet, but I think they do. If the Lions' game plan is to run the football, I think they can cover. I do. Now, I don't think the Lions have a chance in hell of being able to stop Kansas City. I think the Chiefs go up and down the field on them. So maybe it's a shootout, maybe not. But I think the Chiefs win the game, but I think the Lions may cover. We'll find out Thursday. We'll have a pick for that one on Thursday, somebody I like. We'll find out. We'll find out. KC in a blowout? Come on, I don't know, Kevin. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. Again, I just want to remind everybody, man, as we're about ready to shut this one down for today. Again, thank you again. We're doing Big B dailies Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time. We're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. On Facebook, you got to be a friend of mine to join the live. On YouTube, please subscribe. Come join the chat. We always have a ton of fun, man. The chat is building. The daily is building up over here, man. We had some knuckleheads that were in there today, but we kicked them out. We're all good. We are all good. And on TikTok, we do our thing. But anybody over on TikTok, man, come on over to YouTube. Come subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. It's Big B Sports Talk. I have a podcast that'll come out tomorrow talking about the NFL. So we do at least one podcast a week. Come on over. Everything you guys have done to support the channel up to this point, man, I appreciate all of it. I really do. We're building bigger things, bigger and better things every single day. And if you want, email me. I'll get my email. We'll be able to put that up. But my email address is bigbsportstalk44@gmail.com. Any topic that you want me to make a podcast about, just email it over. Again, it is Big B Sports Talk, simple, 44@gmail.com. Anything that you want me to make a podcast about, or even a topic for Big B Daily, something that we may need to talk about, shoot me an email, man. I'll be more than happy to entertain it, and we'll put it on here. If you're over on YouTube, you ask the right question, more than likely, I'm going to put it up here on the screen, man. I'm going to put it up here on the screen. TikTok, I'll call out everything over here that makes sense, man. So, make a podcast talking about how Texas owns Kansas State. Well, that would be dumb because they've won it the last 5 years, but before that, how did the previous 5 years go? So I don't really think they own anybody. And you know that. Boss man. Add a 6th year this year. After how you played against Rice? But hey, that's beneath me. That's beneath me. The Pats record at the end of the season. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I think the Pats stink this year, Lord Michael. 7 wins max for the Pats. 7 wins. Oh, Charles. What does Dan Marino throw for with the rules today? 7,000 yards. I don't know if he throws for 7,000 yards, but I think he get close to 6. Think about Marino. Marino didn't throw it every down. And with the rules the way that they were back then, much tougher than the rules are today. First of all, Marino could get blown up by defensive linemen, linebackers, people blitzing. He could get destroyed. Can't do that today. Receivers could get destroyed back then. Can't do that today. And with Marino, first of all, with his rifle of a release and his cannon for an arm and his pinpoint accuracy, 6,000 yards wouldn't have been out of the question. With the way that teams throw the ball right now, not out of the question, man. Not out of the question. So, do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. I don't think you have. Ivor, you're saying look at a hot take. You didn't have one. Talking about Ohio State 10-2. That's not a hot take. It's probably true. So, all right, man. Again, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Big B Lives. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be doing a lot more NFL stuff as NFL season is here. Thursday, big night. Friday will be all NFL. Friday, we're going to do all NFL. We'll have a quick segment on picks, and we always include some college picks. But Friday is going to be all NFL gearing up for the weekend. It'll be a recap of the Lions and the Chiefs, but all NFL on Friday. Thank you guys again. Like I said, Big B Dailies, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. Please subscribe over on the YouTube channel. If you're on TikTok, give me a follow. Come on over to YouTube too. The chats on both are always up and popping. I appreciate you guys, and we will check you later. Have a good one.